Devlog Entry 0. Hello, my name is Astro-Drifter, and I have a story to share with you. It starts in September of 2021. I've been working on learning graphic design, 3D modeling, and music composition for the last 5 years. I've decided it's finally time to take on game development. I've had prior coding knowledge from high school, and have a rough understanding of how most games work, so I figured it was time to finally take the plunge. And so, I dove into the depths. I started my adventure with Skillshare, and with under a month, I had created this.
Surprise, mother.
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Oh,
Surprise.
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Oh,
Surprise.
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Oh, Jeffrey Bezos.
Surprise, mother.
I have no idea what you're thinking, but I can tell you that at the time, I thought that was pretty funny. And in all honesty, for being the very first game that I'd ever made, I thought it was pretty great. Anyways, I moved on to the next course, which focused on creating a first-person shooter. I wound up with this. This one winded up being more of a cobbled together experiment than an actual game. But I learned a lot of fundamentals and mechanics, and I could apply them to my future projects, and planned to do so. I do want to say, just for the record, that I do realize that this footage doesn't scream professional quality. You've got to understand, these were the absolute bare bones necessary to build a game. They were quick cut and jagged, unbalanced and definitely unfinished. If I really wanted to, I could have completely fleshed them out, but I had other plans. Since 2014, I wanted to create a horror game. And I decided it was time to take my swing at it. This was going to be simple, creepy, but also kind of funny. And so I came up with a simple concept for a game. It worked like this. A guy hunts and stalks the player for a certain amount of time, and if the player doesn't get caught, they win. So then I started to expand on the idea. Unfortunately, what I came up with was incredibly random. Because I wound up with this. A crazy guy in a banana suit conga dances after you at a subway station until your train arrives. Looking back on it, I'm not sure why I even tried to roll with that. But I did, and I didn't like what I came up with, so I started over. And this time, I tried to be a little more cohesive. The subway station became a closed arcade parlor. The idea of surviving for a set amount of time changed into collecting a certain amount of things without dying. And the idea of a man in a banana suit changed into something else. This became known as Project Peel. I started completely from scratch. I made new 3D models, new sound effects, and was even working on an OST that took the song Banana Phone by Raffi and spun it around in a more fitting manner. Progress was good. For the first month or so, I managed to plow through a lot of development. But things started to get a little more complicated because I got to areas that the courses I took before hadn't quite covered. Nonetheless, I began to go from forum to forum and from YouTube video to YouTube video, trying to find solutions for the problems I was running into. In hindsight, I definitely should have gone back to Skillshare or Udemy and taken another course before trying to do my own game. But nonetheless, I pressed onward. Things were still moving along after all. That was until life had a few other plans for me. For reasons that are tied to a much longer and much more personal story, I had to pause the development to pursue a new job. So I completed a A+ certification through my local community college, which was so much fun, and then I got a full-time job, working in an IT department. That was 6 long months of my life. All the while, Project Peel collected dust. But then, the moment I got that new job, I was right back into it. Things were back to the way they were before. I was working on the game, I was working on the assets, jumping from forum to forum, writing code. It was fantastic. But then I got distracted again. And this time, it was a little different. This time, the development was put on hold because of a new interest. This one, to be specific. Yeah. For those unaware, I started doing a Twitch stream. A friend of mine encouraged me to try streaming because they thought I'd be good at it, and I thought it would be an excellent opportunity to share the work I was doing and share my sense of humor. It seemed like a win-win. But you see, nobody ever mentions just how much work running a Twitch stream actually is. When you can't afford to hire an editor, you spend a lot of your life cutting up your streams and then sharing the best parts across Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And make no mistake, I enjoy streaming a lot, but I quickly lost sight of the original point of doing the stream. The stream was supposed to help me share my work. But ironically, I didn't have any time to actually work on anything because I was too busy doing the stream. It took another 6 months before I decided that doing both just wasn't going to work out. So, it boiled down to a tough decision. Do the stream, or work on the game. But if I was going to continue with the game, I decided I had to know more about what I was doing. And so, that brings us to... In early January, I announced that the stream was going into hibernation, and that I was going to be diving back into game development. Since then, I've been on a grind. I've been taking classes, reading forums, going over my notes, and practicing what I'm learning. And now, for the first time ever, I'm hosting a devlog to actually share my progress. This is a big deal. You see, I am the worst when it comes to sharing. Literally the worst. If I was Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa would probably be cooped up in a closet somewhere. So, trying to share things is kinda tough for me. Hopefully, this log will make it easier. Anyways, there you have it. That's the story of Project Peel. So far. I'm hoping you stick with me to see where it goes. I'll be sharing every step of my journey through game development, so you can expect to start seeing new updates to the devlog soon. Ones that are a lot less theatrical. Till next time, thanks for watching. This is Astro-Drifter, signing off.